Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India, India's voice to the world. This is Sports Buzz with me, Deepika Mehto, and coming up in the next half an hour. Ilkay Gundogan announces retirement from international football, cites physical and mental fatigue as a reason to put curtains down on his illustrious career. Argentina's injured captain Lionel Messi dropped from South American World Cup qualifiers. Messi had to sit out from Copa America's final as well due to ankle injury. In tennis, Jannik Sinner scripts history, becoming the first Italian in the Open era to win 5 ATP titles in a calendar year. On the other hand, Aryna Sabalenka marks her 6th WTA 1000 title, solidifying her position for the upcoming US Open. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts and wishes luck to India's Paralympics contingent for the upcoming Paris Paralympics event, set to kickstart from 28th of August. And to begin with the biggest news of the day, Germany captain Ilkay Gundogan announces retirement from international football after leading his country at Euro 2024. Gundogan has earlier won 5 Premier League titles and the Champions League in 7 seasons with Manchester City. Here's a report.
In a major announcement, 33-year-old German midfielder Ilkay Gundogan announced his retirement from international football. Gundogan took to social media platforms to put curtains down on his illustrious career. In a social media post, he said, "After a few weeks of consideration, I have come to the conclusion that it is time to end my national team career." Gundogan posted on social media, "I look back with great pride on 82 international matches for my home country, a number I could never have dreamt of when I made my debut for the senior national team in 2011. Gundogan had joined Barcelona from Manchester City last year and made his debut for Germany in 2011. Where he scored 19 goals in 82 appearances. Gundogan featured in all the games for Germany at the Euro 2024 and his last appearance came in the quarter-final where his team lost to the eventual winners, Spain. Not only this, Gundogan, who turns 34 in October, became the first German footballer of Turkish descent to captain the national team and appear at 4 major tournaments. With this, it remains to be seen what hat will Gundogan sport in the coming days. Sports Desk for DD India.
So Barcelona midfielder Ilkay Gundogan has announced his retirement, and the 33-year-old says that he's given weeks of thought to his decision to stop playing for Germany. But it comes amid speculation of a possible return to English football, as DD India's Ollie Barrett reports from London.
Well, Gundogan talks about the pride that he's felt in playing for his country 82 times with his debut back in 2011, and he talks about the proudest moment of his career being captaining Germany at the recent Euro 2024 tournament that it hosted so successfully, even though Germany weren't able to bring home winners' medals from the tournament itself. Gundogan, though, in his statement, talks about the tiredness that he's felt in his body and also in his head, even heading into Euro 2024, referencing that more frequent complaint that we've been hearing from players and some clubs alike about the schedule around football these days and the number of games that footballers are expected to play, particularly if they're involved in European and international competition. But Gundogan's retirement from international football comes at a very interesting time for him. Barcelona, the club that he's only been at for a year, have signalled that they would be willing to let him leave if the right offer or the right move for him were to materialise. And it's understood that there is interest in England, in Saudi Arabia, perhaps elsewhere too. Gundogan only joined Barcelona from Manchester City a year ago, but it's being reported here in England that Man City are potentially interested in having him back after just a year away to beef up Man City's midfield for their attempted title defence here in England. So Ilkay Gundogan retiring from international football, but his club career also remains uncertain. Ollie Barrett in London reporting for DD India.
Well, Argentina's injured captain Lionel Messi was left out of the squad announced by the Argentine for next month's South American World Cup qualifiers against Chile and Colombia. The 37-year-old was not included in the 28-man squad following an ankle injury sustained during last month's Copa America final in the United States. The Inter Miami player is currently recovering at his club. Coach Lionel Scaloni named midfielder Ezequiel Fernandez and striker Valentin Castellanos for the first time, along with young players including Alejandro Garnacho, Valentin Carboni, Valentin Pajo and Matias Sol. Argentina hosts Chile at the Monumental Stadium in Buenos Aires on the 5th of September before facing Colombia 5 days later in Barranquilla. Staying in football, veteran striker Jamie Vardy earned newly promoted Leicester City a 1-1 draw with the profligate Tottenham Hotspur in their Premier League season opener. Spurs dominated the first half, but Pedro Porro's opener in the 29th minute was the only time they could make one of a host of good chance count. Further, clear-cut opportunities came and went after the break, with the visitors' wastefulness proving costly when Leicester skipper Vardy headed an equaliser into the net with 57 minutes gone. Brazilian Richarlison missed a golden opening to win it at the death, and Spurs had to settle for 1 point in the match. Juventus beat newly promoted Como by 3-0 in their Serie A opener at a sold-out Allianz Stadium as coach Thiago Motta made his official debut at his Turin-based club. Forward Samuel Mbukula put Juventus in front in the 23rd minute with a solo effort, sending the ball into the bottom corner. Juventus extended their lead in first half stoppage time through finger Timothy Hui, and Andrea Cambiaso added the third from a distance just before full time. Juventus next travelled to Hellas Verona on the 26th of August. More from soccer. Diego Simon's Atletico Madrid shared an entertaining 2-2 draw with Villarreal as they began their La Liga campaign. Atletico Madrid revamped their squad over the summer after struggling to a 4th place finish, but had to settle for a point at twice coming from behind. Villarreal took the lead through Arnaud Danjuma in the 18th minute. Atletico reacted instantly, scoring little over a minute later. Villarreal moved back ahead when John Oblak failed to claim a cross and the ball bounced in off the unfortunate Cook. Atletico levelled through Sorloth in the first half-time stoppage. Moving on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently interacted with Indian Paralympics contingent, who are all set to represent the country at the prestigious Paralympics event in Paris. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a one-on-one interaction with para-athletes and wished them good luck for the upcoming event. Here's a report. After the successful conclusion of Paris Olympics 2024, all eyes are now set on Paris Paralympics 2024, which is scheduled to take place from 28th of August in Paris. Ahead of the prestigious games, Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with the Indian para contingent. During the interaction, Prime Minister lavished praise and congratulated the para athletes going to the event. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also added that India's athletes have conquered the challenges of the society.
ये यात्रा आपके जीवन की, आपके कैरियर की बेहद महत्वपूर्ण यात्रा होने जा रही है। आपकी सफलता बताती है कि आप विपरीत हवाओं का ही नहीं, विपरीत तूफानों का मुकाबला करने का मादा रखते हैं। आपने समाज की स्थापित मान्यताओं को हराया है। आपने शरीर की चुनौतियों को हराया है। इसलिए सफलता के मंत्र भी आप ही हैं। सफलता के उदाहरण भी आप स्वयं हैं और सफलता के प्रमाण भी आप ही हैं।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with para archer Sheetal Devi, who's already taken the world of para athletics by storm, becoming the world's first armless archer. While interacting with the Prime Minister, Sheetal Devi said that she is determined to see the national flag fly high at the upcoming Paralympics event.
जब शीतल पेरिस पैरालंपिक में आपका अपना लक्ष्य क्या है और आपने इसके लिए तैयारी क्या की है और कैसे की है?
यस सर, मेरी तैयारी बहुत ही अच्छी चल रही है, ट्रेनिंग भी बहुत अच्छी चल रही है सर। और मेरा लक्ष्य यही है कि मैं अपना देश का तिरंगा यहाँ पे लहराऊं, अपना जो एंथम यहाँ पे बजाऊं। सर मेरा यही लक्ष्य है और इससे बढ़कर सर मेरा कुछ नहीं है।
Paris Paralympics will begin from the 28th of August and will witness many firsts like the inclusion of para-cycling, para-rowing and blind judo. India will participate in 12 sporting disciplines with its largest ever contingent of 84 para-athletes who will be vouching for glory at the coveted Paris Paralympics event. Sports Desk, DD India. Well, history was created at the ICC Men's T20 Cricket World Cup Sub-Regional East Asia Pacific Qualifier event in Apia, capital of Samoa. Samoa's batter Darius Wier has broken the men's T20I record for most runs in an over against Vanuatu. Wier smashed 6 sixes to score 39 runs in an over against Vanuatu. He was helped with 3 no-balls from Seema Nalinipiko. The 39 runs was the most in the history of men's T20 international, surpassing the famous 36 run feat achieved by Yuvraj Singh, Kiran Pollard, Nicholas Pooran, Dipendra Singh and Rohit Sharma along with Rinku Singh. Wier finished with a score of 132 off 62 balls, thus becoming the first Samoa batter to score a T20I century. Now Samoa restricted Vanuatu to 164 for 9 to win the game by 10 runs. More from cricket, Australia captain Pat Cummins said he is expecting to lean a bit more heavily on all-rounders Cameron Green and Mitchell Marsh with the ball during the 5-test series against India at the end of the year. Australia are currently looking to reclaim the Border Gavaskar Trophy from the visitors when the series begins on the 22nd of November in Perth, with further tests in Adelaide, Brisbane and Melbourne before the teams head to Sydney for the final match from the 3rd of January. With 5 tests to be played in just over 6 weeks, both the sides are expected to be stretched to the limit and Cummins is backing Green and Marsh to play a bigger role with the ball. The World Cricketers Association has begun a comprehensive review of the game's global structure with an aim to resolve the broken and unstable global cricket calendar. The WCA has set up a 6-member committee led by former Australian Cricketers Association chief Paul Marsh. It hopes to provide solutions to the incoherent and tightly packed cricket calendar. The WCA has further taken it upon itself to review the structure and find a way in which both international and franchisee tournaments can coexist. The group will consult various players, current and former administrators and franchisee owners before presenting a set of recommendations to the WCA board. England's Dan Lawrence will open the batting in place of the injured Zach Crawley in the first test against Sri Lanka, and Seema Matthew Potts will replace Ben Stokes. All-rounder Stokes was ruled out for the rest of the English summer after the 33-year-old picked up a hamstring injury last week, with batter Ollie Pope taking over the captaincy role. Middle-order batter Harry Brook has been named as the vice-captain for the 3-match series starting at Old Trafford on Wednesday. Staying on cricket, veteran Australian batsman Steve Smith says he has no plans to wind down his cricket career, having signed a long-term deal to play in the Big Bash League with the Sydney Sixers. The 35-year-old inked a 3-year contract with the Sixers and could squeeze in 4 BBL games during the home summer between the final test against India and the tour of Sri Lanka. Smith was overlooked for Australia's T20 World Cup squad for the tournament in the United States and the Caribbean, but remains committed to playing all the formats. Smith said he had no idea whether he would open in the 5-test series against India that starts on the 22nd of November in Perth. Time to take a short break, but still to come on DD India Sports Pass on the other side. The US Open kicks off next week. World number 1 Iga Swiatek and Novak Djokovic top contenders for the title. Paralympics Village is all set to open its door for participating athletes in late August.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching Sports Pass. Moving on, getting you update from the world of tennis now. World number 1 Jannik Sinner overcame health issues to defeat Frances Tiafoe to clinch the Cincinnati Open title. The 23-year-old, who's been dealing with a hip issue and missed the Paris Olympics as well due to tonsillitis, was visibly struggling during the game. Despite this, he beat Frances Tiafoe by 7-6 and 6-2 at the Cincinnati Open final on Monday, proving that he is the man to beat at the upcoming US Open. Frances Tiafoe could not take advantage of his 3 breakpoint opportunities in the first set and was 2-0 down in the second set, from which he never recovered. Sinner said it has been a tough week, so it is important for him to recover and be ready for New York. In women's category, Aryna Sabalenka won the Cincinnati Open title by overpowering Jessica Pegula in the finals. Now, this is Sabalenka's first title victory since January's Australian Open and 15th title of her career. The result ended a 9-match winning streak for Pegula, who defended her Canadian Open title last week. The match went on for 76 minutes as the Belarusian powered past the American by 6-3 and 7-5 to take the title back home. She suffered a slight bump when serving at 5-4, but the champion recovered and came back strongly to win the match convincingly. The US Open kicks off from the 26th of August, and here's a list of women players to watch out for. To begin with, world number 1 Iga Swiatek will arrive in New York as the bookmakers' favourite to claim a second US Open title. After lifting the trophy in 2022, Swiatek suffered a 4th round exit last year, but will be hopeful that she can replicate some of her clay court dominance at Flushing Meadows this time around. The 23-year-old boasts an impressive 56-7 record so far this season, with titles lifted in Doha, Indian Wells, Madrid and Rome, in addition to a 4th total and 3rd straight French Open success in June. Defending champion Coco Gauff will also be hoping to reset, however, after suffering a shock second-round exit from Cincinnati Open to culminate a string of defeats by lower-ranked players in recent tournament. This time, 12 months ago on the US swing, Gauff had won the WTA 1000 event in Cincinnati, as well as lifting the Washington Open in the build-up to her maiden Grand Slam triumph at Flushing Meadows. Two-time reigning Australian Open champion Aryna Sabalenka, meanwhile, will be looking forward to go one better than her losing final run last season. The Belarusian world number 3 will also be buoyed by defeating Iga Swiatek in the semi-finals of the Cincinnati Open. A convincing 6-3, 6-3 victory avenged a run of 3 straight losses against the Pole, 2 of which came in tour finals, to improve their head-to-head record to 3-11 in Swiatek's favour. Former world number 1 Barbora Krejcikova returned to the top 10 in WTA rankings for the first time since January after winning Wimbledon to claim a second career Grand Slam. Krejcikova's losing opponent on centre court that day, Italy's Jasmine Paolini, has also climbed up the rankings in recent months, currently sitting at world number 5. And now let's also talk about the male players to watch out for at the upcoming prestigious US Open tournament. Novak Djokovic will hope to successfully defend his US Open title in New York when the tournament opens on the 26th of August. The Serb defeated Daniil Medvedev of Russia in 2023 final for his 5th US Open and a record equaling 24th Grand Slam singles title. Now 37, Djokovic suffered a knee surgery during this season's French Open and was forced to pull out midway throughout the tournament. After undergoing surgery, he came back just a few weeks later to win gold at the Paris Olympics. Jannik Sinner of Italy has come to the fore this season, winning his first Grand Slam title in Australia, defeating 10-time champion Djokovic in the semi-final before coming from 2 sets down to beat Medvedev in the final. He won 3 more ATP titles in the first half of 2024, but lost in the semi-final of the French Open to Carlos Alcaraz. The Spaniard went on to win the title that he followed up by successfully defeating his Wimbledon title against Djokovic. His first Grand Slam title was the 2022 US Open at the age of just 19, defeating Norway's Casper Ruud in 4 sets. Germany's Alexander Zverev will hope that his search for first Grand Slam title will come in New York. He has had 5-set defeats in the Grand Slam finals he has contested, firstly to Austrian Dominic Thiem in 2020 US Open and then in this season's French Open, where he led Alcaraz 2-1 before the Spaniard came back to victory. Russian Medvedev will be hoping to recapture the form that saw him beat Djokovic in straight sets to win the 2021 US Open, his only Grand Slam title to date. He has also not won an ATP tournament since the Italian Open in May 2023. 2 former US Open champions, Stan Wawrinka and Dominic Thiem, have been given wildcard entries for the tournament. Now, preparations at the Paralympic Village for the upcoming Paris Paralympic Games are in full swing as the village is set to open its door for the arrival of participating athletes in late August. Pictures of the beverages of the mascot for the Paralympics that kicks off on the 28th of August adorn the walls at the village in St. Denis, which will welcome more than 4,400 Paralympic athletes from 171 countries. Some athletes are already on site, but the official opening of the village is planned for the 21st of August. For the first time, the Prosthetics, Orthotics and Wheelchairs Repair Centre is located in the heart of the village itself. The Paralympic Games will last until the 8th of September.
Everything has been thought through so that people with disabilities can enjoy the same experience as everyone else. There are some very concrete examples, such as the balconies. Often to get onto a balcony, you have to step over the edge of the balcony to get outside, but not at all. So you can have your own coffee on the balcony with your wheelchair or with someone who has a prosthetic. They won't have to step over it either, because sometimes I promise you it's not easy. And also all the rooms have an accessible bathroom and a normal one, which means we don't have to change the configurations of the pairs of athletes when choosing the apartment. All the rooms are accessible.
And with this, it's a wrap on this edition of DD India Sports Pass. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Deepika, and from all of us here in Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India Sports Pass. Namaskar.